All right. Welcome to the stream. Today I will be looking at the MvvmCross Android Presenter. Prepared everything here. Almost prepared everything here. The Android emulator didn't show up in Visual Studio, but hopefully it runs and deploys. It showed up, so I think everything is okay, and we can start digging into some code. So there's a couple of things I want to address during this stream. One of them being, let me just start by digging into the presenter on Android itself. And let's maybe navigate to the code in question that I want to work on. So here it is, this perform show fragment transaction. So in this code, we make a lot of choices for any user of MvvmCross. Oh yeah, and it launched here, so everything is good. Anyways, we do make a lot of choices for the developer in this presenter, and I want to make it a little bit easier to actually configure how you want your stuff to be presented. So one of the first things is that we always use replace. So we always replace whatever region is there with another fragment. So, but these fragment transactions, if we write ft, we have add, which is a different way to show these fragments. Yeah, so so instead of replacing, you will just add on top of other fragments, right? So I want to make it possible to do that. And if we allow this, then we will then run into some issues where if we try to add the same fragment again and again, Android will actually say, hey, nope, you're not allowed to do that. It will throw this illegal state exception and say, no, there's already a fragment with this exact same ID in the stack, in this parent view that you're trying to display then, and then it just blows up, basically. So I also want to add some code to check whether the fragment has already been shown in that region, and if it is already shown, there's no need to actually do anything there. There's no need to add it to the parent view anyways. So there's a check on the fragment itself that, where we can ask, hey, is it already added? And if that's the case, maybe not do it. So in order to facilitate a couple of these things, I will need to modify this fragment presentation attribute to make it configurable what happens inside of this method. So you can easily control what is going on. So yeah, let's get started with this. Right. So first thing, I want to be able to configure this to either use replace or add. So I think the idea here is to add another parameter to these fragment presentation attributes, and then keep the default of replacing as we have now, so we don't break anyone. But yeah, if it's set to true, which now will be available, then we would use the add method instead of the replace method. So that's the idea here. So let's start with that. So bool what should we call it? So add fragment. We should probably add some XML docs to these as well. That would be easier to then. There is some there. Okay, that's fine. We probably need to expand on these things. But yeah, fine. Add fragment and here as well. So why? What's the difference between these two? This one has a fragment content ID. Okay, so there are different signatures. It's fine. Add fragment equals false. So we stick with the default behavior, and then we need to add a property down here. Public bool add fragment. Right. So setting this to true will use add instead of replace on the fragment transaction. All right, and then we need to set it in the constructor. So add fragment equals add fragment. All right, and here as well. So far, so good. It's complaining about. We should probably just clean this up while we're here. Refactor, no. Format document. Thank you. It didn't do anything nice. What? It maybe did. Add empty line. So it did format it properly, but not as it wanted it. Default. Should not be visible. I don't agree. Okay. Right. So back to the presenter. Fragment view. And then we rename it. Then the fragment becomes the yeah. Okay, I think we also need to clean this up. So we call this one fragment view. That ticks me up a little bit. Like this. And then we call the actual fragment for fragment. Yeah. That's a little bit cleaner. And it says here, use recommended dispose pattern to ensure that the object No. No. We don't want that. So I will suppress this one. Bye-bye. Okay, so to backstack. So if attribute add fragment, then we do fragment transaction add fragment, and then so what did we use as tag here? Just use the fragment name, but there's a signature here where let's check the other signatures. Container view ID. So we want to use the same one as here, actually. Okay. Otherwise, we want to use replace. But now with this one, as I mentioned before, since we're adding the fragment to this content ID, we cannot do this multiple times or it will start complaining, right? So we need to check now on this fragment here that it has not already been added. So we need to do that probably before we do anything to the fragment itself. So up here, thanks for indenting this. So if fragment, if we are using add fragment and fragment is added, then we essentially don't do anything. Just return because it's already added. We should probably add some logging to warn the developer about, hey, this was already added. We're skipping. So fragment and we have the name of it in attribute. We already have the fragment name up there. So fragment name. It's already added. Skipping show transaction. Something like this. Right. And then maybe we should also address these possible null references here. That's another thing I also want to address during the stream. There's a lot of places where current activity could be null or is tearing down or something like that, and we're still trying to just do stuff, and sometimes Android isn't happy about that. So I think we will add some guards around the code to kind of prevent that and to just not do anything while it's tearing down. That's a little bit cleaner than just crashing on someone. Right. So, but let me just maybe show, if we go back to this, what was it? We also probably need it on our dialog. We just show it. Cool. Show view page of fragment. Let's just check if we need anything there. There's no transaction. We're just adding it to the adapter. Okay. And the tab layout. Nothing there either. Okay. Fragment dialog. Dismiss. Pop backstack immediate. What does try perform close? So it pops it. Cool. I think that's good. So if we find the perform show fragment transaction. So let me just show you what happens if we don't return here. So let's comment this one out and run the app. Oh yeah, we also need to set add fragment on one of the presentations. So let's just do that as well. So if I can cancel this, then find a fragment here. Let's just use child view. Root view model, that is fine. Just do like this. So we use add now instead of replace. And then run. Let's just find where. Oh yeah, I actually wanted to find references. So show child. Main view model, yeah, I guess that is the place. Root model. Root view model here, okay. So we say navigate, and then we await the result. So this probably won't show the issue. Let's just try anyways. So the idea is to spam the button here. But since it's awaiting a return, yeah, we cannot do that. Okay, so let's just remove this code just for now. Just make it simple, like so. Don't even need to have this async. Just comment this out. And return this one. And try it. Oh yeah, and if you hear anyone hammering or anything in the background, it's just my neighbor assembling furniture or something right now. They're almost done with fixing up their apartment, so I'll have some tranquility soon, which is nice. So looking forward to that. Anyways, hopefully it's done building soon. And hopefully I can show you the issue with using add and just allowing it to add over and over again without a check for whether it's added or not. So right. So if I spam this show child button now, hopefully we'll throw an exception. It did. Interesting. Is there something going on here? Show child command. Let's check what's happening with this one. Nothing really. Okay. So it seems to work fine here. I guess we might be using it differently in the project I work on at work. Let's just find the view for, sorry, root view. Ooh, a new follower. Zero to Hero Dev is now following. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. A root view. Well, just search for it. Root view. It's an activity. Okay. So root view uses root view layout. So let's find that one. And root view. It's just bound to show child command. Interesting. Let's just try something to just force that issue. Let's just call it show child button and find it here, find view by ID, button, resource, ID, show child button. All right, and then show child button, click. Doesn't like me editing the code while it's running. Let's add a click handler. License, please. Great. Name is fine. I don't care. View model. Show child command. Execute. So now we don't check for whether the command can actually execute or not. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. To remove this. And now and try and run and see what happens. And while we are waiting, let me take a sip of this water. Sorry for bumping the microphone. Right. All right. Does this have fast deploy enabled? I don't know. It's not super fast, but I guess it's fast enough. All right, so hopefully if I just set a breakpoint here, just to demonstrate the issue. Oops, sorry. And then press show chart. Oh, we hit this one. Okay. That is fine. So now what's wrong here? Execute already running. Something wrong with this command. Maybe we have an issue there as well. Or if we write execute async. Some random intelligence error here. Must specify a unit. No, not in weights. They don't have units. Okay. So can I still not run this multiple times? No, it's still running. Interesting. Okay. Don't worry about that. Let's just do like this. Ruby model. Just make a method here and just quickly just to prove the point. Public task. Go child. All right. Now it will work. And I'll have to look into this command thing because it behaves a little bit strangely, if you ask me. It's like it waits for way too long to get a result or something, or does something inside of the command that isn't intended. Because the task should return just immediately, right? So there shouldn't be anything else awaiting it or blocking or anything. Maybe that's an issue in there. Anyways, show child still works. So if I try it again, did we get? So what did it say? It did throw an exception, but child view model property changed. So what is this? Child view model. 43. Demonstrates that exceptions can be raised on a property change but are swallowed by default to protect the app from crashing. I know why this. It's because it actually uses this. Right, okay. Let's just fix this. So it probably expects it to return and then let's just remove this for now. just for the sake of this. So now there's no other errors. Just ignore the warnings. So now if we use the child command again, it should behave properly. Because it was implementing this return parameter, it actually waits for that one to return. No. Yeah, it might run. It is actually caught inside of the command. I'm pretty sure we have a try catch in there, and you can actually configure it somehow to either throw or just swallow the exception. But yeah, the issue is that since we were waiting for something to return from the view model, it was actually waiting for that return value. So that's why it couldn't execute multiple commands at the same time. Let's try again. See if it builds. All right, whether it will show one error at a time. But yeah, it's a good point. Kiosk dev. It could have like thrown an exception and we wouldn't see it. Problem navigating to view model, root view model. Okay, what now? What did we break? Let's check the output. Problem navigating to root view model, fail to construct view model for type child view model. Because there's some cast that's wrong. So okay, so right here, child. What is it having an issue with? So it's definitely in this constructor. Load view model, root view model. It's trying to cast what? So it's, okay, so it's failing to construct child view model. Okay. Nothing in here. All right, let's set a breakpoint here. And let's set a breakpoint in root view model and see. What's this doing? View model loader. Okay, doesn't matter. All right, let's try to run it again. See what if we can find out why it's crashing. What it's trying to cast. From what to what? VX async command. Yeah, it's fine. Splash. So we are root view model. Let's just single step it. This is fine. The child command was fine. These are fine. Okay, what is this? Not sure why. Okay, so root view model is fine. Child view model. MVX async command. Do these have any? No. Oh, I was stepping inside. This is still fine. Sample model. Why does it still think it's taking a sample model? I don't see anything navigating to it using this parameter. We remove the parameter up here. So one of these weird things where we manually need to rebuild and then try again. It's probably something like that. Let's just remove these breakpoints. And we can't do that. Now we can. I also removed this prepare, so there's nothing that marks it that it should take anything as a parameter, so it's weird that it was trying to do that before. Just check no references. Sometime soon, maybe. Just a normal wait for stuff to compile. At this point of time, I would, if I was back at the office, I would probably go grab a cup of coffee, chat with a coworker. I don't know, eat a piece of cake if there was any, or find some fruit or something. This is just way too long. Very nice productivity. but in any case, I chose to say rebuild, so it's rebuilding everything probably. So it has a lot of dependencies in here. Yeah. Rebuild all succeeded. Okay, let's try run it now. And hopefully get back on track on fixing the presenter, not messing around with the sample. Come on. Finally deploying. All right, come on. Nice. Green screen. And why? Okay, let's check the exception again. Specified cast is not valid. Default view model locator 76. Should have used this one. Do you use this manually somewhere? Nope. So child view. Is there anything here? No. And if we say find references on this one, there's this, of course. Right. Oops. Load view model. We don't navigate to it, so this is fine to just comment out. Why didn't I just search for sample model? Would have saved me like, I don't know, what was it, 10 minutes of waiting? Almost 10 minutes of waiting on builds. Nice. And now it doesn't crash, I'm pretty sure. Okay, very good. So okay, so there's this already running. Still. That's interesting. So if I close it and show it again, then this sometimes works. Yeah, there's something in that command we need to fix. So that's weird behavior. It should just run this navigate and then there's nothing else in this command. I don't get why, unless there's anything. Ah, there's this delay, okay. So because it's initializing, still running. Okay, that makes sense. Bye-bye. And now we hopefully can, oh, I can show you the crash that I intended to show you with Android getting angry of me showing the fragment multiple times. I could also just have waited 8 seconds and pressed the button, but this is almost as quick. Okay. Show child, shows up. Try it again. No? So actually it didn't. Okay, so let's just dig into the presenter quickly. Let's just see what's going on here. Okay. We go through this, assigns a view model, creates a new bundle, sets the bundle as arguments. It adds to backstack, which is fine. And then we say add fragment. And then we commit. And then I actually had expected it to throw here. So let's see, what does fragment name become? Child view. And the content ID is this. So it still goes into add fragment, and it's supposed to get mad about this. I'm not sure why it isn't. Child view. That's because we say null here. That's actually wrong. So container and then false. That should have been like that. So now I'm telling it, hey, use this as parent, but don't really attach to it. And just return it. And then this view will be added to this container. Oops. Okay, just skip this and then do it again. Still no exception. That's weird. Then it might be a different case that I experienced earlier today. So let's just check. So if we check this fragment, if we add it again, so show child, we reach here, and what does is added as false? So it actually believes it isn't added already. Oh wait, is cacheable fragment. Okay, let's just check. So is cacheable fragment false? So it's not cacheable fragment. Ah, so I guess is cacheable fragment was set to true on the fragment, and then it finds the exact same fragment, tries to add it again, but it's already added, and then it gets mad. So let's just move this point. So is cacheable fragment true? And then hopefully we will have the issue on our hands. So in the case of if it is already cacheable, or if it's already added, we shouldn't add it again because it's, but maybe we should, I don't know, tell it to, if it's not already at the top, we should maybe have it go to the top or something. Let's see if that's possible. Good child. Now it's true. It's null, right? Because we didn't add it already. That's fine. So we go through all of this. It shows up just fine. We press this again. It goes in here. Next line. Now we actually have the child view. And if we drill down through this, space, 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 is added is true, right? There's also more here. So is added, is hidden, is in layout. So we can check these things and maybe move it up in the stack. Anyways, so if I continue now, let's just step line by line here. So if we continue to the happened. Okay, now just continue to a random place. Anyways, this is what I wanted to show. So fragment already added, child view, and then you get this illegal state exception. So to fix this, we did this, but maybe. So is there, so on the fragment transaction, let's just check what we have available. So fragment transaction, is there any way of like moving it up? Hide. Set reordering allowed. Okay. Show. Interesting. So show would probably be the correct thing, right? Okay, so here we don't just want to return, but we check down here. Probably. So if it's already added, we don't want to add it to backstack again. So fragment is added. Then nope. And then if attribute add fragment and fragment is added. Show fragment. Let's try it. Interesting. So yeah, it's fine. I'm just thinking there was this reordering thing. So now it's actually happy. So we can press show child multiple times and it will just, I guess, just show this one. We can prove this by so if we go to child view, child view, let's just bind this text instead. So local mvx bind text to greeting. Okay, and then in the view model, public string greeting hello, and then we get the hash code. Like so. Just to see if it's a new instance of the view model every time or it's the same one. I'm kind of curious. So you kind of don't want to create a new view model every time. We just want to show whatever you have, right? So this is interesting to see. But I guess we fixed that issue then. People instance. So yeah, something will get in here. I'm just curious whether it's the same view model every time, or it's a new one every time, or how that works. It's actually a new view model every time. So do we also have presentation attribute to cache the view model? I don't see anything. Interesting. So let's try to figure out where it actually loads this view model. So request. Oh wow. Navigation service. Okay. That's a lot of instances. That's fine, I guess. Navigation route request. Okay. So it's probably not this bundle. It's not by path either. Probably not this one either. Navigate. No. So we need one that takes a T view model, I guess. What's it complaining about here? Does not need to use. Probably not. Could probably just return. Yeah, T view model here. Okay. We give it nothing, so it goes to this one. View model instance. Let's set a breakpoint here. See what happens. See if we can figure out if we can provide anything to load the previous view model. Okay, so this is root view model. Cool. And then I say show child. So what does the request contain? Nothing really. Child view model, presentation button, no. The next one, same thing. It's just an empty request. So we go to inside of load view model here. Right, we'll just say, I guess, view model locator. This one. If it had any save state or anything in there, it would probably no. Is there any instance here? View model locator that does any caching or resurrecting? No. So for now, it might be fine to just reuse whatever we have. So if we go back, reload view model. Load view model. So what is this called? Navigation service. Parameter. Is there one that takes a no? That's okay. So if you already have a view model instance, okay, it's interesting. The way we would not recreate this one would be to actually create an instance here. So in a similar fashion, IFC construct child view model. So if we did something like this, if it's null, and we create it, otherwise there's no override that takes the view model here. IMVix. Oh yeah, this one, I guess. for view model parameter. Yeah. So if we create the field, can we just do this? Mm-hmm. So in this case, we should now see the same view model instance every time we click show child command. But wait, we are probably using this one and not the command itself. What? No, we did fix that. So it uses the command, right? Yeah. Okay, there's room for improvement here, I think, for a later time. But for the purpose of this stream here, I think we kind of achieved some of the stuff that I wanted to do. So what we did was to add this boolean called add fragment, and when we use that one, we use the add fragment transaction instead. But there's a catch. So if you add the same fragment multiple times and you use the isCacheable fragment property as well, which will then find the fragment in the stack. So if you call add on the same fragment again, it will explode. So what I did was to add this if statement here to if it's already added. So if the fragment is already added and we're using add fragment, just simply show it again. And so this fixes the issue. So that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and also if it's already added, there's no need to add it to backstack again, right? Then it should be in the backstack already. What actually happens if we just try to add it to backstack again? Does it complain? It might not be necessary to check for it and not do it. Let's see. Alrighty. It actually doesn't care, which is cool. And does still close? Does. It's probably a different Modal nav view. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Not sure why that closed there. This technically should just close the this presentation, right? So maybe let's just quickly dig into that. So what would be something with close fragment, right? Or close fragment dialog, or not sure what this close fragments is, but it sounds interesting as well. So now if we go back here and press close. All right, so close fragment. Child view model, and it's some fragment presentation attribute. Pop backstack inclusive. Okay, so we have a fragment host, so it goes into this try, probably. Yes. There's no backstack entry count. So it, okay. So it finds the fragment in the fragment manager, which it doesn't, so it, because what? It's because it should probably have because it's shown as a child in a fragment, right? And fragment host view. So this one is a fragment, right? Dialog fragment. So it will end up using a child fragment manager, which this one probably isn't. Okay, so this one returned false, so it continues down here. Wait, so fragment host, child fragment manager. And this one probably also failed, so it says current activity finish as it just. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Didn't find it either, returns false. Calls finish on the activity, okay. Okay. So I wonder. Oh, it was actually presented to begin with. I wonder if we just say, does it have add to backstack? Add to backstack, true. Does it work then? then it should, when it's closing, jump into this one and just pop it. And return true. And then everything is okay. Right, so let's try that. Ah. Neat. Cool. So that also works. All right, let's just make a commit with what we have now. So all the fixes we just did here. Create new branch, bug. It's actually kind of a feature. The add instead of always replacing. So let's add this one and this one here. And we don't really need anything else here. Right. And ability to add fragment instead of always replacing it. Cool. And let's push this one. And then I guess I'll create a new branch from this one just to make all that cleanup. So bug fix cleanup, because I don't want to mix those two up. So yeah, cleanup presenter. Still have time for that, so let's do that quickly. So while we are in here, let's do this nullable enable and nullable restore. So it's happy about that. And then let's go through all the code here. Possible null reference. Right. So if this return activity, otherwise return no, and then this one can be null. Guess what we had before was fine as well, right? As activity. Yeah, I guess that's fine. And then here, this one can actually be null because this one can be null. So instance field, yeah, this should be a drop T instead. So protected pending request, then get like so. But then there's already something called pending request somewhere. Okay, so we change it back and then find out. No, that's fine. Okay. So what is it complaining about? Not be assigned to. So okay, so protected and then private set. And this one can be null as well. Yeah. And this one is private, so it goes to the top. Same for this one. And this one. And they can all be null till they actually get resolved. And I would actually like to make these lazy instead. Yeah. So instead of doing this, this is kind of lazy, but oh, what if we do new lazy. So, and then we just do make an expression body. Like that. Like that. So yeah, we learned in a previous stream that lazy protects from multiple threads calling it at the same time, which is super nice. So it prevents any weirdness from multiple callers. So, which this doesn't do. So let's say if two different threads calls activity lifetime listener, what actually happens in here, right? So there might be a race to activity lifetime listener. And depending on where in the life cycle it does that, the one might return null and the other might return a value and overwrite the other. So yeah, so doing this is a little bit more safe. So let's do that. Then we do copy this one. And just do this and make it an expression body. And do the same with navigation serializer. Cool. All right, I'm much happier with this change. Right, let's rename this one. No, let's leave it. Let's leave it just in case just to not break anyone. Right. Let's move on. Find type on null. So if your model type is null, then okay, this will throw if there's anything null in here, which is fine. Okay, but a request can be null. So this one we need to validate. So if request null, throw new argument null exception. Otherwise it will throw a null pointer exception anyways here, because we're trying to access view model type on request, and then we don't want that really. Do we use this value? Okay. Nice. This line is pretty long. So attributes, view type, get custom attributes to list. So does this one guarantee? I guess it returns an empty set if it's nice to us. Or an empty collection if no such attributes exists. And okay. Use conditional access. What does that mean? So to coalesce it, I guess. So can it fix that? Okay, cool. So if that's a count, that is more than 0. Go in here. The count is more than 1. Because it finds whatever. Yes, the conditional access is applicable here as well. Right, but current activity can be null. But as I said earlier, it could also be tearing down, destroying, whatever, finishing. Then it will probably blow up anyways. So yeah, we should probably check whether it's still alive before trying to use it. So this null check is kind of redundant for now. I'd add it to do, so we'll deal with this in a moment. Let's find down here. Yeah, view type should be checked. So if view type is null, okay. Argument null exception, view type. Right. Then we mark this one as being able to return null value, and the same with this one. This one seems okay. It's already checking for null here by this is statement here. So we'll never go into this if it's not this type or is an instance of it. So that's cool. So that is fine. If pager fragment attribute is null. Otherwise it will explode anyways with null references. Get fragment view by type. Yeah. If current fragment manager is null, Turn null. Then we can remove these checks. Okay. Visual Studio doesn't really like me today. All these errors popping up. So what is complaining about here? Maybe null here. So find fragment in children. We need to mark this one as being able to be null. Can we assume that fragment name is not null? I guess we could just check for the name. We do like this. If thing is null or white space fragment name, turn null. Everyone is happy. Okay. So let's go back to the top. Now it's complaining. So view page can still be null here. And let's add a to do for the current activity again. And allow this one to return null. Cool. Next. So yeah, again, we need to check for that current activity. So let's just add that as a to-do again. Attribute here. Okay. Has to have an attribute. Argument null exception name of attribute. I guess all these can be null actually, now that I think of it. Create intent for requests. So we actually need all of these to be validated. like so. Let's check create intent for request. Can we do this? No. Yeah, but it could be null, right? So technically it shouldn't be null, right? But it's protected, so someone could technically do something like this. Does this? Oh, it implements an interface. Okay, that's very simple. So, okay. Right. Sorry for that. Okay. Yeah. And is there any guarantees for this one returning anything? So let's assume that this doesn't always return anything. So in some cases it returns null. And the same with this one, I guess. Default request. Actually, then get intent for. Okay. Actually, this kind of has a guarantee, so I think this is fine. I don't like this. It's better. Okay, so back to where we were. So this one always returns an intent, put extras, show intent. Would be fine. And this one always returns an empty bundle. Bundle maybe null. Nah. Okay, so this one can return null. Let's just ensure that that doesn't happen. Okay, so far so good. Use count property instead of any method, because this is a list. Is that much better? Then probably some different analyzer says, hey, yeah, okay, so if count is 0, because then we lose the exclamation mark. It's easier to not mess up. Yeah. So intent. It could potentially be null, and this one doesn't guarantee anything either. Okay. So let's do this. Then, yeah. And then it's happy. Bundle may be null. No. Shouldn't. Right? Empty may be null here. That's weird. Let's just assume it isn't. I would assume that empty means the same as writing new bundle like this. We can do that and then get rid of this one and this one. No. I guess not. I think this is fine. Right, next one. So we already looked at this one, then we have this one, intent, add flags. Yeah, we need some more checks here as well. To do check current activity is alive. We should also check the intent. So if intent is null, intent Bundle. Be anything here, right? Bundle is not null here. Can I start? So you can start in without it. Okay. So maybe they should add a version where to check for a bundle being null or not. Call one or the other. So yeah, else no bundle. And technically the same down here. Let's do this. Pilot, void, start activity. Intent. Something like so. Intent bundle. And then we are a little bit happier here. I would maybe also just make it a nested one here. All right. Maybe not. I actually like it better this way. Then we don't confuse which intent, whether it's this one or something else. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Next. This could technically be null. So let's fix that. And if attribute is null, argument null exception name attribute. More fixes. Cool. Halfway through. Another instance of current activity. So to do check current activity is alive. Then we need to check the attribute here as well. Cool. Next. These could technically be null as well. Take no chances. Validate everything. This will probably be done over and over again. So let's make a small helper method. Validate arguments. Then type view. We could do probably do base presentation attribute or something like that. Yeah. And MVX base presentation attribute. And then MVX requests. What's the type? View model request. View model request. Okay, view model request it is. And let's see, let's scan through this. Let's mark that as nullable. That's one here, right? View attribute request. Cool. Attribute request. Okay. Okay. So I have one with attribute and request here. this one. So the request really shouldn't be null ever, right? Because what are you then navigating to, right? Should always be a request. Always be some kind of presentation attribute. Or if it's missing, do we default? I haven't seen anything like defaulting to something here yet, so this one we actually check. It's validated here. Stop being drunk. I guess it cannot see when it's contained in a method. Okay, next requests. Check it here. Otherwise, we go into this one. I guess we need to take into account that we'll fix this one later, I guess. But I guess we will end up marking this as being nullable as well. Ooh, a new follower. Silex7 is now following. Welcome to the stream. Silex7, that sounds familiar. That's Valerio, if I'm correct. I think that's Valerio that I met at MVP Summit last year. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining the team. Yeah, I'm looking at the MvvmCross Android View Presenter right now. I fixed some issues earlier with, or added a new feature where we could add fragments instead of always replacing fragments. And now I'm just adding a bunch of guards, and I added the nullable enable flag here, so hopefully it gets a little bit more robust. I still have to take into account that current activity can be null or being in the middle of tearing down, or yeah, I'll look into that later. But yeah, I'm looking into all the other scenarios first, so and take this one into account later. But I might end the stream soon. It's getting late here, but let's see how. Maybe half an hour or so more, and then I'll stop it there. But yeah, let's continue on here. Show fragment, view model request, attribute. So this pattern goes again here. Oops. Fat fingers. Okay, view, validate arguments, view, attribute, and requests. So we can get rid of this one. Then we can guarantee that this one is not null. I don't really like which code quality. So it's some Roslyn analyzer kicking in, even though we are validating it. It's actually described here. So null check validation methods. This rule can lead to false positive if your code calls special null check validation methods in reference libraries or project. You can avoid these false positives by specifying a name or signature of null check validation methods. The analysis will then assume that arguments passed to this methods are non-null. So if I add this to the editor config, then it will. So, and ensure that my validate methods start with or contain validate, it will stop showing those false positives. So let's just do that because it's annoying me a little bit. Nullable. And we get a nice spinner. Time for a small break and drink some water. Okay. Cool. Visual Studio is still locked up. Okay. Hopefully it's much happier now. Still throwing this false positive. Validate, right? And validate. So it needs the full name. Okay. So if we write validate arguments. Okay. Okay. And now it's happy. Okay. And then I can technically just remove this one. No? Maybe no. Okay. But now it doesn't complain about having to validate the arguments. That's pretty cool. Okay, we learned that today. That's nice. So it's not null because it's not null up here. Right. So now it is happy all the way through these paths. And we also validated request. So, and attribute. Cool. I guess quick fix here would just to do this, but we still need to check a little bit more here. Okay. Next method. View attribute requests. Good. Right. And attribute and requests. So this won't be null. So fragment manager. We need it in any case here. So if fragment manager is null, we should blow up. Oops. Fragment manager is null. Name of fragment manager. Right. So does this one guarantee that we get a? Kind of does, doesn't it? So it either creates a fragment or it blows up with null reference, which is caught, which is wrapped here. And then it technically could throw even again here if its fragment type is null here. Right. Let's do something about that. So if fragment manager is null, let's beautify this a little bit. What was the validate method we had? So attribute and request. So do we need one for type and attribute? Yeah, no. Create fragment. This is much better. Fragment manager, fragment factory, instantiate. Yes. So this either throws or returns a fragment view. That's cool. So let's go back up. So now this one actually guarantees that we get something or it explodes. How many times do we call this? 2 times. Okay. Right. So since this kind of guarantees that fragment is not null, can we do like this? No. How do we indicate that this one never becomes null? So since we check for null here, I guess we just blow up because there's no fragment to show, right? So let's just assume the worst. So if fragment is null, throw new MvvmCross. Yeah. Fragment. Cannot perform fragment transaction. Yeah. And now it's actually now we can remove this one because if it's null, it will blow up, right? Then it's happy down here. Cool. Okay. All right. Next one. I really don't like this abbreviation. Let's rename it. Should just do it for all of the parameters. Right. Okay. I guess that is fine. We technically need to check connectivity here as well, because it might again be tearing down. Can we mark this like no? So if it doesn't have a question mark, it's explicitly. Can we guarantee though that it's fragment cannot be null, right? Attribute is validated, request is validated. Fragment manager is validated, right? So we could actually say that all of these are not able to be null here. Externally visible method, but it still wants us to validate them. Yeah, because if someone calls base on it, yeah, I guess it's better this way, like so. Here as well. Just say there's no guarantees here, right? Yeah, there's no reason to continue here. So current activity. Something like this. Cannot really continue here if the current activity is null. Nor can we create a fragment transaction if current fragment manager is null here. So if cannot create fragment transaction. I guess we should just do it long before here, like prior to trying to load anything or create anything. Yeah. So it's actually happy about this. Yeah, okay. If the attribute doesn't supply any host, assume current activity. Sure. But there is an attribute. Yeah, again. So again, we need to check for current activity whether it's tearing down stuff. Check current activity is alive. Cool. Uh-huh. Okay, otherwise it creates a new adapter. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Cool. Almost done. 1/3 left. Show view page. So this is a UI thing we actually want to suppress. Just explicitly configure wait true here. Do it like this. And same here. and move on. Doesn't use the attribute for anything here, does it? Nope. View model does, okay. Yeah. So attribute cannot be null. This one can be null. And now we're happy. Yeah. Let's just suppress it here. Okay, and then we mark this as possibly null here. Should actually mark these as well. Here too. That's why it didn't complain about these ones. Yeah. Okay. Did we have more that we forgot? No. These. We forgot. Okay. Nearing the end here, so if Fragment Manager and the same for Fragment Attribute. Okay, Test for empty strings using string length. String is null or empty instead of an equality check. Okay. That is nice. These are some long lines. Flowing out of my screen here. Let's just improve this a bit. And I would add some brackets here just to improve the readability just slightly. Okay. It's fine. Suppress this one as well. Because these could be whatever. Try perform close. So either it pops it or it removes it. Okay. Depending on backstack entry count. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Why is this? This one I understand could potentially be null, but this one, why does it suggest that fragment transaction can be nullable? This doesn't return a fragment transaction with question mark. And it says fragment manager is not null here. Okay. It's just a suggestion, I guess. So if I write fragment transaction here, it's not null here. And now it says it's not null here. Okay, I don't know. So we can remove this one. Okay, fragment manager could potentially be null. No. Yes, it could. So and fragment manager is not null. Do this stuff, and then it's happy. View model is not used anywhere. Should probably mark it as null here as well. What is it complaining about? Whoa. Told it to remove the assignment and just rearranged it. Hello. So I can do this. Okay. Find fragment info from attribute. Yeah. First or default. Okay. Document null exception. Adapter. We need that adapter. So yeah. But this one could potentially return something null. We do have an adapter. Fragments info could potentially be null though. There's no guarantee here. What declares? Up there, okay. Attribute cannot be null. That's fine. This one cannot be null. Fragment info. Well, technically it could. Right? Okay. Then we messed up this one because now fragment info. So if fragment info is not null, we do all this crap. Nice. Okay, and now we can, I think we have some extensions, right? Platform, Android. Where the heck did I put those? I think what it was called is null. Let me check. So current activity. So if we say so it's a Java lang. Okay, let's jump in here. Okay, so is activity dead? This one we need to use. This needs to happen way before. Yeah, okay, so we can do here. So if current activity is dead, what was it called? Is activity dead? Break. Right? So if it's null, it's dead. If it's finishing, it's dead. If it's destroyed, it's dead. Otherwise, false. Where is this? Java object extensions. Okay, I'm blind. Okay. Right. So here we guarantee that it's not null. Let's grab this. Final references. Yeah, if it isn't dead, we can do this. No. It's complaining about merging it up, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's just move it on. Next line. Okay. Sure. Something like this, current activity type. Unassigned. Yeah. And this could actually return null. Can we view like a list of tasks? Yes. Okay, so we can remove this to do, right? Okay, so if current yup. Yeah, so we actually need to improve on this one as well. Just a big can of worms. Why didn't I copy it? Was activity dead? So no. Task list. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, task list. Cool. Next one. Okay. Almost there. Maybe we should add one that's called is activity alive. That would just reverse this one. That can remove some of the negations here. And is there more dead stuff? Yeah. Cool. List. Two more instances. And Cool. That's nice. All right. So now we've cleaned up the presenter. Let's just run the app once again after all this cleanup. See if it still works and it behaves as we expect it to. Time for some sleep. Meantime, while we wait, we should make a pull request for the other stuff I committed. Didn't I push the branch? Origin. This origin. So it's called feature add fragment. Why doesn't it show up here? Let's just create a new pull request. Okay. Yeah. Feature. We always place fragments. This PR allows fragments to be added on top of each other. Okay, and fragment is marked as is cacheable fragment, and it is navigated to while already being in the stack. We simply push go on it instead of adding again. No. Only if you. Nope. Add fragment argument and MvvmX fragment presentation attribute. They build styles. Yeah, labels Android. and the app is running. Uh-oh. So we actually broke something. Ah, crap. Okay. Or 36. This should be and. Because should actually be the case for both. It's good we tested it, otherwise. Would have been fun. Just ship it. Did we mess up other this? No? Dead? Cool. It was in this one. Yeah. It works. Amazing. That's cool. Let's check this in out as well. I guess this kind of changes. Yeah, these are breaking changes, I would say. So since we're breaking stuff, let's just fix this one last thing here. I kind of don't like that we expose this event, but yeah. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, so, okay. So I staged all those files. So mark MvvmCross Android view presenter nullable and fix all the null issues. Also now checking for current activity being alive. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to do transactions or other navigation. Okay. That's it. Push. And new pull requests. This time it suggested it. Okay. What was the other one? 3911. So breaking and Android. Yeah. What is it? MvvmCross Android Presenter. Android View Presenter. Yes. So let's just. So we renamed this method. It was just an underscore here. And pending requests. I guess there's, yeah. Yeah. Something like this. So all previous built, yes. Rebased. No. All right. Create pull request and time for bed. Thanks for joining my stream. It was a long one, this one. 3 hours and 30 minutes. It's probably the longest one I've done so far. It's also getting late. It's almost 11:30 now. So yeah, thanks for joining. I guess you got a little bit of insight in what we do in MvvmCross, and I don't know how long it takes to just do minor things. So sure, we do have a lot of issues reported, and we do have a lot of pull requests open, but all of this just takes time as anything else programming related. So yeah, just some insight. I hope to maybe continue with some of these tasks in MvvmCross once in a while. But yeah, thanks for joining. Catch you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.